like these so far. Like I said in the previous video, I'm going to see how long I can work with them. I'm going to see if I know I'll be able to work with them. But I just kind of wanted to show you what I'm doing. So this is the glue I'm using, and these are press-on nails. If you saw my previous video, and I've never worked with nails this. I've never had my nails this long before. This will be the first time, and I just want to see. I'm going to do the dishes. I'm going to clean out the bathtub. I'm going to wash clothes, and I'm going to take a shower with these press-on nails on to see if I can work with them. Um, I normally I purchased these a long time ago, probably at least even a year ago, but I have like a whole bin full of press-on nails, and so usually I cut them down, but this time I decided to leave them long. They're coffin shaped, and that is the number, but apparently they're discontinued. They have some similar ones, but they're not exactly the same as these. Um, and I wanted to talk about getting attention. Like, a lot of times people think that I'm somebody who needs validation or attention. No, I just naturally get attention when I walk into a room or walk into a space. And it's been like that since I was a little girl. Um, I'm not doing anything other than being myself. And a lot of times people think it's phony because they're not that way. But I can only be who I am. I can't be somebody else. And you can only be who you are. And so maybe you get attention in other ways. Like maybe you're a good cook, and people really enjoy your food. So for those of you who are interested, what I'm doing is I'm putting glue inside the tip first, and then I put glue on my actual nail. I cut my nails down because I wanted to start over because I had one break this one broke, so I just decided to cut them all down and start over, because they grew really pretty, and that's fine, because they'll grow back. So I just decided to cut them all down since I broke that one little pinky on my right hand. I can't even remember what I was doing. Like I was doing something at home when it broke, which is funny. If you knew what I actually do right now. But anyway, I press and hold it. They say you only have to press and hold it for like 5 seconds, but I normally do it for at least 30 seconds, just to make sure that it sticks. Sometimes it doesn't, like sometimes I may have like little air pockets around the cuticle area. So um, if I need to, I'll put a little extra glue there. But I think I did a pretty good job with these. So now I'm going to start on the other hand. I didn't cut all of these all the way down. I don't know why I started with this hand, so I cut all the nails all the way down like this one. But then when I got to this hand, I didn't cut them all the way down. It's fine. Again, they will grow back. But again, I want to see whether or not I can work with these. So anyway, a lot of people who don't get attention naturally, they want attention. It makes people feel good. And again, when you're someone who naturally gets attention, it's not that it doesn't mean anything in a way that you don't appreciate it, but it doesn't hold as much weight. Like you're not looking for it. People just naturally gravitate toward you and your personality. And I just so happen to be one of those people. Um, because I have a great personality and I'm not afraid to be myself. I'm not afraid to think outside the box. I'm not afraid to ask questions. Although some people get an attitude when you ask questions, that's not my problem, right? Um, it's just a matter of, again, being yourself. Who are you? Be the best you can be. Stop trying to copy people. Stop being jealous of people. Stop being intimidated by people. Stop being afraid that somebody's going to do better than you or have more than you. So what? Because a lot of times those people, not everybody, if you're one of the selfish ones, then of course you're going to think, oh, nobody's going to help me. Or you'll say, oh, well, nobody helped me. That is so freaking selfish. It doesn't matter whether or not someone helped you. That doesn't mean that you can't help other people. One has nothing to do with the other. You're just repeating the cycle. And it's horrible. Especially if you're someone who goes to church and you're brag about being so religious, but you can't help people because nobody helped you, and you think that that's okay. It's not. That's not okay. It's not okay at all. It's very selfish. It's a sin, in fact. So, um, and another thing, stop comparing yourself to other people. That's what makes you stressed out and worried and afraid that somebody's going to have more or do better because you're so busy comparing yourself. What's meant for you, you will have. I remember one time this girl said something about, now, when I was in college, I learned how to use Mac computers because I was a media arts major. And that's what the majority of people in the media world use. They use Apple products. And this was before like iPhones. This was in the 90s, right? So I learned how to use, and this was even before like laptops, if I'm not mistaken. We had just regular monitors. Um, and we learned how to, edit, videos and movies for class, right? I had film production, I had video production, I had audio production. Audio production, we had to use a reel to reel. So again, um, this wasn't something new to me, right? It was something that again I learned how to use this product in school, and had grown accustomed to it, and I liked it better than a regular PC. And yes, they cost more. So people always focus on how much something costs as if that actually gives it more value. It really doesn't, right? You're just paying for a name. You're just paying because it's different. And you're paying because, again, people in the media world typically use this. It's really not for just the regular schmegular just to use a laptop, right? Especially if you're not doing media work, video production, editing, music editing, even. It's really not for that. But because other people have it, I had this girl, she was like, oh, so jealous. Like, oh, I can't even remember the comment she made, but you could tell it was out of jealousy. And even when she was at my house one time, her daughter stole my ring, and she didn't tell me until 2 years later. And I'm pretty sure she knew that her daughter took my ring, and she never even offered to replace it or anything. Like, you have to be careful of the people that you have around you because they're jealous. Even when I said I was going to a particular school, and I won't say what kind of school, but I said I was going to school to do a particular thing. The next thing you know, this girl was doing the exact same thing. I just decided I didn't even want to do it anymore. And then once she graduated, she was like, "Oh, you can still do it." I already decided that I didn't want to. I don't need your approval. This does not, and because of the way that she was raised, this makes her feel like she's a better person. And because she's still trying to balance out being told that she wasn't good enough. I don't need that. I'm fine just being myself. I don't have to have this title for people, for me to feel like people are beneath me, or that people are going to look up to me, or they're going to say, oh, well, because you did this, now you're great. I don't need that. But this girl needed that. And to this day, and last I heard, because people know that I know her, she's very arrogant and ignorant with it. She's let this title and this position go to her head. And, she looks down on people. Like, my friend showed up at a party because she's friends with somebody that's in the same industry. And this girl's looking like, oh. Yeah, because nobody cares about that shit. Forgive me. I'm working on not cursing. Um, but I'm a work in progress. Um, when you've been using profanity for for your whole life, almost more than half your life at least. I mean, I'm 50 years old, so um, being more elevated spiritually, I am doing my best not to go back to some of the habits that I had, even if they weren't necessarily habits and they were just things that I did on occasion. Um, you know, work in progress. That's all I can say. Um, and I'm not judging myself. And if somebody judges me, that's not my problem. I'm not focused on that. Um, so anyhow, and this is I'm not saying this to even talk about her, but I'm saying this to kind of put things into perspective. Like, be yourself. It, stop trying to copycat or thinking that whatever somebody else has is better. It's not that serious. We're all here. We're really here for the same purpose, but people just don't realize that. Like, we're not here to just buy things that make other people rich. Like, again, I was using Mac products because I had a purpose to, not just because they cost more money. So if you're looking at somebody envious and jealous, like, oh, they bought something that costs more money than the thing that I use, that, I mean, like, even the whole, oh, I have an iPhone so that my phone is better. All these phones do the exact same thing. The When you talk into the phone, it may not be called Siri. I don't know what it's called because I don't use that feature because I don't want to talk into a phone. I have no interest in that. I don't want to put no watch on my arm and be walking around like this talking into the watch. I'm not into all of that because there's too much radiation enough as it is with all the phones and the technology, right? We have phones, we have iPads, we have laptops. Um, and all that 5G radiation, even if it's 4G, is still a lot. Like I was just telling somebody yesterday, I think, or earlier today, I don't even own a microwave. I haven't owned a microwave in years. Somebody gave me what is that thing called? Um, Air fryer. I don't know what that technology is. I haven't used it. I use old fashioned pots and pans to put it on the stove or put it in the oven. And a lot of times I eat mainly fresh fruits and vegetables, so that doesn't require me to cook anything. So I'm using a blender or a juicer, or just a knife to cut it more often than anything else. So, yeah, some of it's just too much. And again, for people to just be jealous and envious of things that really don't have meaning. It doesn't mean anything because you have something that costs a lot of money. So what? Now, again, if there's a purpose, like my Lexus, Toyota makes good cars, and I wanted an SUV that I actually like. I didn't like any of the Toyota ones. Toyota doesn't really have like a SUV like that. Like, um, I mean, they have the Land Cruiser. Now, I do like the Land Cruiser. But at that time, I wasn't thinking of a big truck like that. Um, I just wanted something reliable. And as a business owner, I did acknowledge the fact that people have more respect for you if they feel like you have something that's what they consider to be expensive. But again, it really wasn't that serious to me. It's more about the reliability of the brand, right? Like, with American cars and like even Range Rover, the engine is made by Ford. So a lot of the parts attached to the engine or associated with the engine and the engine itself, things like that go wrong more often than not with American cars. But with Honda and Toyota, and this is not a sponsored video, so they're not promoting this, but I used to add Nissan into that category, but I took Nissan out because Nissan makes their cars because they want in a way that they you have to bring it back to the dealership in order to have it fixed. It's hard for you to get it fixed by other mechanics. And so they want you to continuously incur that cost of going to the dealership. But Honda and Toyota, the parts are easy to find. They're reasonably priced. You can get almost anybody to fix it. Not that you want almost anybody to fix it, but that's beside the point. The point is they're a lot easier to fix. They're easier to maintain. Things like a screw coming out of the visor, or a screw coming out of the armrest, or maybe you get flat tires. Um, or just normal wear and tear. That's typically what you'll incur when you own a Honda or a Toyota product. And they last a really long time. People say the same thing about like BMW and Mercedes, but again, the price point to have those parts, to buy the parts and to have the car repaired costs a lot more than a Honda or Toyota product. So Honda makes Acura and Toyota makes Lexus. So um, that was my thought process, not just because I wanted something that somebody say, oh, you got this, oh, you got that. No, my thought process is always on quality. Like I may go to a store because I want the quality, but I may go to the clearance rack. Again, this is not thinking that I'm better than anybody. It's about the quality. I like good quality products. I want to spend my money on quality products. Not, and my eye automatically goes to it. Some people always go to cheap, and that is fine if you're frugal and you want to buy a less expensive product. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, I may pay the same amount for my product, but I just got it. Maybe I bought the used, or again, I got it from the clearance rack or whatever discount. And there, and this is how wealthy people shop, and this is how wealthy people think. They don't want to pay full price, right? But they still want the quality because that's what it's about. The quality. And if you keep that in mind, maybe you'll stop being so jealous and envious of other people who have things because of the quality and not just because they can brag about it. Now, don't get me wrong, because there are people who have things that they feel like they can brag about, and to each his or her own. But again, if you're not somebody who feels like they need this attention or need this validation because you just naturally get it because of who you are, those things aren't important to you. And so in the meantime, this person is sitting up there with his evil eye, being jealous and envious, like, oh, who does she think she is? Oh, she got this. Oh, he got that. He this, he that. They're not even thinking about you. And you're spending all of this energy focusing on them instead of focusing on yourself. Make it make sense, y'all. It doesn't. If you focus on you, I say this all the time. If you focus on you and what you're good at, you would be amazed at the things that you can do or the attention that you get for being you. There's a guy who brings juices to work, right? There's other people who brings juices to work, but his personality makes people gravitate toward him more. He's not doing anything except being himself. Now, the other people who sell juices, their juices are great and they get that attention too, but it's not to the same degree. And this is not even about me comparing. This is just me saying a lot of times, if people realize if they just were themselves and do what they're good at, people are still going to gravitate toward them, right? And again, there's more than enough people for everybody to make money. So there's at least two or three people who sell drinks, right? In that particular department. They both make money. They all make money. But I remember one time I bought some cookies and I put them out for free because I just wanted to share. Because this is one of the things that I do sometimes, right? I know that this existence is not about me. This is about me helping other people, making other people feel good, teaching other people how to love themselves, loving on other people in agape love, not romantic love, right? When you show people love, it makes them feel good about themselves. So I bring cookies in, and there's a young lady who sells cookies. I noticed that she didn't put her cookies out because I had free cookies on the table. One has nothing to do with the other. If your cookies are that good, people are still going to buy them even if there are free cookies available. But if you don't put them out, you won't know that because you're so busy focused on what somebody else is doing instead of what you're doing. It doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. This is not a comparison. There's more than enough for everybody. Again, even if only one person bought a cookie from her, she would have made money that day. But if you don't put them out at all because you're focused on what somebody else is doing, you won't make anything. So she convinced herself that she wasn't going to make anything, so she didn't make anything because she didn't even try to put them out. I didn't say anything to her, but I certainly paid attention. People are so busy worried about what you have or feeling like, oh, why can't I have what that person has? That person doesn't deserve that. Who are you to say that? Who are you to say that? What gives you the right? Because you're jealous, because you're envious, because you're intimidated and afraid that they will have more or do better. It's really sad how we treat each other when sometimes. But again, it's all within that person. It has nothing to do with the person that they're directing it towards. And everything to do with them and what's going on inside of them because they don't have the trust. They don't have the confidence. They don't have that inner knowing of their God self. They're still looking for something outside of themselves because they don't have that understanding. And when you have that understanding and you try to teach people, they'll say you're crazy, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about. Until they realize you do. I'll say, I don't think that that's true. And you don't have to, but that doesn't mean that it isn't. So don't listen until you really have to. And then it's like, oh, I should have listened before. Oh, really? Hmm. Anyway, y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate you for watching. I have my nails done and I'm going to wash dishes now Then I'm going to clean out the bathtub. And I think I'll wash clothes and then take a shower and see how it all goes. They should stay on. I may put some powder inside underneath, and I may not. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But as always, I love y'all. I thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Mwah, 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 mwah.